Yeah, and usually, Delhi, it's all about scouting that first production building, what they're going out for, to, control those sacred sites. But starting in game number 1, LucifroN on the Delhi in the yellow, west side spawning in, and in the east, it's DeMu on the Mali. So let's see what we have in store for us.
Yeah, exactly. LucifroN starting off with that mosque, with that mill early on, chopping some wood from a straggler tree. That's just what we tend to be seeing from the Delhi nowadays. DeMu with the standard Mali opener here, going for the pit mine, has a nice pit mine towards the side, kind of back-ish when you put it in a relative position to where LucifroN is out on the map. And yeah, so not a bad pit mine spawn there for him. Scouts right now. Interesting scouting pattern going forward to middle and then to the sides. Actually, this Arabia map generation that we're seeing here right now. Can we look at the overall map again? Like you see like these sort of marks in the middle of the map, which makes it look like there's a big crater towards like the middle of the map. Sometimes it happens on Dry Arabia where there's like a big sort of like crater going down. Actually, no mind, it's just differently colored grass.
Hey, I do know the spawn that you're talking about, and it kind of does look like it at some angles.
Side, there's like, on the sacred side, it does look like there's a pretty deep valley there in order to get to that sacred site.
Yeah, but even still, as far as map generations, nothing too out of the ordinary, too scary to deal with. It's not like one of these where we saw Mali with the forward gold earlier, and you're too out of control there. DeMu's got a nice gold location. His secondary gold locations, no complaints there. One to the north and one to the east as well.
Yeah, the gold spawn definitely here not bad for DeMu. LucifroN also can't complain. He's getting a very safe additional berry spot in the back. Another one to the other side of his base. So 2 back berry spawns, quite nice for him there. 2 back gold spawns as well. 2 back stone spawns as well. So looking good there for LucifroN as well. I think both players can be happy. One thing that does grab my attention a little bit is the sacred sites being a little bit more favored position-wise towards DeMu, I would say.
Yeah, that one of them kind of feels off the beaten path over here in the north, but sometimes that's a benefit for the Delhi, as it's they just need to capture it once, maybe throw up some walls once with Spearman or Archer that moves on out. But even still, DeMu shouldn't have too big of a deal kind of controlling the 2 main ones, or maybe denying, I guess I should say, the 2 main ones.
I guess in return, the middle one is like 2 large wood lines away from DeMu and only 1 large wood line away from LucifroN. So I guess it kind of makes up for it, right?
Yeah.
And Dome of the Faith coming out here for LucifroN. We've been seeing that one a lot. Dome of the Faith has been double buffed over the last couple of patches, I feel like, to the point where now it's just better once again than the Tower of Victory. Like, not only do your scholars once again cost pretty much only half, they are 80 gold cost now, and they also get built much faster. So it was like, okay, scholars are buffed, but except for that landmark, and now they're also buffed there as well. So now it's only 30 seconds per scholar out of Dome of Faith as well.
Yeah.
So with a lot of these buffs that the Dome of Faith received, I feel like it's just de facto the best landmark there for Delhi once again.
Yeah, it really kind of just started to gain more favor again. I remember when they first made it start acting like a mosque, I thought it was gonna gain a lot, which people did start utilizing, but you were starting to see it a lot more than the Tower of Victory, which even feels weird saying, especially coming out with LucifroN, who is that tempo aggressive person with Delhi, that you'd expect him to potentially be that Tower of Victory player.
Yeah, they also made it so that you can put 5 scholars instead of only 3 inside of your mosque and your Dome of the Faith. So, and you can put relics inside of it as well. So just a lot of additional buffs that just make it such a great landmark now. Dome of Faith now completed. Scholar gets immediately queued, and we're also seeing Sanctity being queued. Very important upgrades so far. Sacred Site Capture definitely on the menu here, and we do see that early stable coming out from LucifroN. Gonna be seeing Ghazi Raiders in just a little bit here.
Yeah, Ghazi Raider, cool little unit, cool swap on over, but against Mali, it's, that heavy damage bonus doesn't really gain anything too crazy early on. However, you can already see Delhi getting all those free techs in. I wouldn't be surprised to see LucifroN dropping a couple blacksmiths soon, too, just to get those technologies up and running for him.
Yeah, what we see often with the Delhi, just like a blacksmith there, and then another blacksmith up to 2, so you're able to research from 2 at the same time. But I think DeMu knows that he has to be a little bit active here. early on in the game in order to play this correctly. So I don't think that like the double blacksmith is going to be really an active play here from LucifroN. It feels a little bit too greedy trying to go for like both of them. I think you need a production building a little bit earlier. And barracks is getting dropped now by DeMu, so some Donzos are going to be out on the map soon.
Yeah, LucifroN immediately scouts it out right as it finishes. And I love like seeing these pro players. It's like the first production building, it's always like immediately scouted. Like Feudal Age finishes, it's like, all right, we need to scout the base. I need to know what I need to react to. Because if all of a sudden DeMu starts making ranged units and LucifroN comes in with 3 Ghazi Raiders, it could just be too much of a snowball from there to deal with.
Yeah. Ghazi Raider is such an interesting unit. I'm not sure how well they do against Sofas. They do have like 3 bonus damage baseline, then plus 2 damage against armored units, a lot more HP, and they don't cost too much more compared to like normal horsemen. So it could be quite dangerous, like going for Sofas against them here. And look at that, behind that, LucifroN still active on the Scholar production. That's where the Dome of the Faith just kind of shines, and gonna have his 4th Scholar really soon. Means that the production of the research here for him is gonna be really fast as well on all the upgrades.
Yeah, I mean, those techs start flying through. You can get to a point where, you know, it's almost like the same timing because the amount of scholars you have inside of there. Couple of Donzos starting to protect the villager on that second pit mine, though, and getting houses all around that. So DeMu's really getting some solid gold income.
Yeah, always good to get that second pit mine early. We also seen archer range coming out here from DeMu. So far, LucifroN hasn't started producing anything other than these Ghazi Raiders. I don't think he has any other production building. Oh, he's just adding an archer range as well. And yeah, with that, just a lot of army flood right now from LucifroN. 7 Ghazi Raiders early on in the game. And truly, Delhi are just so quick when it comes to like massing up these units, because you can just put one of the scholars inside of the production building, and immediately it's going to act like 2 production buildings, and just able to pump out these units really quickly.
And look at that.
Now,
LucifroN just Sanctity finishes, and scholars are literally sitting on the sacred sites. The 3rd one just arrives at the farthest one away from him, and he immediately is going to get that gold income, but, you know, counteracting the pit mines from the other side, essentially. Actually, definitely.
Yeah. And behind that, LucifroN, he's just switching out the Scholar inside the stable towards the one and towards the archer range. And now he's just going to be pumping out a lot of archers really quickly. DeMu hasn't even made his 3rd archer. He does have a javelin thrower, but there's still a ton of Ghazi Raiders out there on the map. It's going to be tough for DeMu to contest these sacred sites.
Yeah, utilizing that Scholar to heal some of those Ghazi Raiders up that took some damage from those javelin throws, or from the, I guess not spear throw from the Donzo. And even still, as long as those units stay alive, they can get healed back to full. And losing 1 sacred site isn't too big of a deal for LucifroN, as he's still got 2 secured and can wall those up and regroup to push this on back.
Yeah, and behind this Acid Alley, you can just look towards Castle Age as well. So much passive gold income that he now has. Like, he immediately jumped from 0 gold per minute income in theory, and then up to like 375. That's quite a big jump there for him. It's like getting 3 pit mines immediately, fully built without investing wood into them.
Throwing a couple of archers away by accident, though. LucifroN forgot to swap over that rally point and repositions his army. There's the double blacksmith coming out. He wanted to get a good fair bit of military first, equalize that military count, and now wants to get those military research techs in.
Yeah, and the market as well, so that makes me think that he's just going to try and sell all of his gold in order to just mass up more and more military here. Just stick it out in the feudal age, produce a lot of military, which you kind of want to do against the Malians, right? You want to make a big clump of units. You want to try to contest the pit mines. You want to burn them down. And yeah, you just want to have more military than the Malians usually. And DeMu behind that, he's just going to try and deny more of the sacred sites. LucifroN sends a lot of Ghazi Raiders around, maybe potentially trying to harass some of these pit mines there.
Yeah, you said it last game. Against Mali, it's not always a quality game. It's a lot of times it's a numbers game. You just need to have the same number as them, and you'll end up winning out against their units. Those Ghazi Raiders doing their raiding, pushing away some villagers off of that pit mine, but Donzo already there, ready and waiting.
Yeah, he did kill a villager there as well, so that's looking good for him. DeMu still trying to deny all of these sacred sites. It's taking him quite a bit, and behind that, LucifroN is just recapping the first one that has been decapped. It's just going to be a little bit of a back and forth behind that. LucifroN massing up more and more military. He is leading in the army count right now. A lot of the Ghazi Raiders, though, are getting sort of neutralized here by the Donzos, but from DeMu.
Yeah, it just shows you how much better those Donzo can be compared to Spearmen because, you know, if those are Spearmen, I don't think any of the Ghazi Raiders would have gone down, but able to get some of those Spear Chucks in there and a couple of them get taken out here and there.
Yeah, that's a big difference there. And behind that, DeMu, he also has a good chunk of Javelin throwers right now as well. Wondering if he's want to like start transitioning to normal archers or if he's just going to stick to the Javelin throwers.
Yeah.
Oh, fight towards the middle. Sacred site might happen soon, though.
Yeah, it looks like
DeMu has military there.
Main engagement getting pretty close. LucifroN wanting to resecure that sacred site, and DeMu can't push in, and he knows that. He has a scout there and spots it all out.
Yeah, good call there from DeMu.
Oh, huh? I was about to say, as we say that, he's just trying to get some poke shots in here and there, but he definitely needs to move back here. There's too many archers, and he has too many Donzo.
Yeah, military right now looking really good from LucifroN. DeMu has to fall back here, needs to wait for his reinforcements to come in. Archers, though, not quite making the connection there to the army from DeMu, so he's going to be able to get away scot-free. But that's a lot of archers right now out there from LucifroN. He's massing a lot of them.
Another scholar headed down towards that bottom side sacred site. Wants to make sure he gets all three to cap this. And this micro is insane. He's swapped it back and forth. Every time that Ghazi Raider gets low, he pulls it back, and the scholar just keeps healing back on up. Scholar didn't take too much damage either. And Archer's pushing forward, starting to snipe down. But look at how many Donzo are on the other side.
Oh, DeMu actually managed to get the Javelin throw on that really low HP Ghazi Raider in order to avoid that recapping happening again. DeMu's also getting in some upgrades here, getting the +1 Pierce damage upgrade. LucifroN's really, really insisting right now on getting that recap going, so sends another archer there. And I feel like DeMu right about now is just going to try and get a fight going. I think he knows that he probably has enough units right now to take a good fight. Especially since like the Ghazi Raiders pretty much cannot engage at all.
Yeah, you're just choked. You're held hostage by the Donzo. The Donzo just sit on top of the Jav throwers, and every now and then they'll throw their spears, but each of them just utilizing their ranged attack whenever and slowly just getting better trades over time.
Yeah, fight not happening quite yet. Oh, is the... Oh, stops the recap here. Might actually kill the Scholar in time. No, Archer's going to be taking him out. That's almost... Like, he almost managed to completely stop the recap there, but it's going to happen.
That was so close, and Scholar should end up getting taken down. Sight should be decapped, I believe. LucifroN just keeps trickling in, losing units here and there due to that range from DeMu.
Oh, raid coming in. Ghazi Raiders in the wood line for DeMu.
Oh.
Couple villagers go down. 2 villagers go down. Only 2 villagers. That's not the end of the world. He still has a cow boom going behind this, so he's fine. But that was kind of deadly there. If this round came in a little bit stronger, might have lost a lot more villagers there. Now, fight about to happen here towards the middle. LucifroN not paying too much attention here. Malians already on top of the archer. Javelin throwers fired their jabs onto the archers. Solid front line and gets a lot of destruction value here. Look at that destruction value, 3,000 to 800.
Yeah, I mean, again, LucifroN just has lost unit after unit after unit. Yeah, he picks up 2 villagers, but I don't think 2 vills is worth losing, 10 military units.
Yeah, it does really hurt LucifroN here right now. Military count now in favor for DeMu. And behind this, I mean, income-wise, if we take all the resource into account, it's still fairly even between the two. But do you want to be even against Malians here right now?
Nah.
With Delhi, I feel like you want to be ahead.
With Delhi, I would expect them to be a bit further ahead at this point, especially with DeMu investing in that cowboy behind, like you said. He's still been able to have this military number and basically have the equal or almost advantage the whole time.
It looks like LucifroN once again is trying to go for the recap here on the sacred side. He is sending units towards the bottom side there. Once again, units seem to be firing off there. against each other. Javelins just good base damage here, taking down a lot of the archers as well. And still, this is a fight that, in theory, DeMu could take if he wanted to.
Doesn't decide to do so. Still just kind of, they're both just kiting back and forth, a little bit of damage here and there, but nothing too crazy, because once that full engagement happens, that's really when we see the game turn over.
Yeah, but DeMu's about to hit Castle Age here. LucifroN has the food for it, but nowhere near when it comes to the gold right now because of the aggressive decapping here from DeMu.
Yeah, DeMu's really just done such a good job constantly transitioning from one site to the other. Oh, the cow that got killed.
Yeah, that's annoying. That's very annoying. But LucifroN spots that, and I think that means that LucifroN is going to go for an engagement here really, really soon. DeMu needs to pull back a little bit. Gotta wait for his upgrades. He can immediately click them with the Malians. Only 30 seconds. If he can just wait with this fight for 30 seconds, he's going to take a much better engagement the next time. Upgrades immediately getting clicked. Donzos could turn around, get some more shots in against the Ghazi Raiders. Only snipe a low HP one.
Ghazi Raiders, though, weren't able to pick up any of the javelin throwers really right there. And DeMu, I would call that a huge success, as both of those upgrades are going to come through. The House of Learning, though, is already in queue as well. 15 villagers on it. LucifroN, he'll be able to start up all his techs. He just can't really have control with which techs, or the timing of those techs, I guess, because it just takes so long.
I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of the House of Learning here. Right now, he only has 6 scholars. He hasn't been constantly producing scholars with the Dome of Faith. And now, oh my god, that's going to be potentially some big raids. Some archers there, some Ghazi Raiders from the other side. This could be really, really annoying. Archers make their way in. There is javelins. There are sofas, though. And at the same time, in the middle, there's a big fight about to happen. Oh, Donzos are there. Perfect timing. Loses a couple of villagers, though. Yeah, it looks like LucifroN is content with just throwing away a lot of these Ghazi Raiders right now, a lot of his military, as now he's just going to go for Lancers, but Lancers going to be not that good since there's still a whole lot of Donzos active in the middle. And it looks like DeMu is just going to try and push in right now.
And DeMu pushing in right as LucifroN pushed in, threw away a lot of his army. Techs are coming through, but again, those techs take a while, and LucifroN, he's at all this pocket food locations, has to get off of those, and that's right as he's going to castle. It's right as when he needs this the most.
Oh, Donzos need to be careful. There's the big archer ball there. And where's the military from DeMu? It feels like he split it off a little bit too much there. Now his army is a little bit alone there against the Lancers, against the Mass Archer ball. Has to be careful still. He is getting some value, but on the right-hand side, not so much.
Yeah, I don't see really any Donzos there anymore. There's 3 or 4 over there trying to clear the Lancer, but the Archers, they're doing a fine job clearing this up, and the Lancer and any other Ghazi Raiders, if there are alive, should clear this mass up, but a lot of eco trades on each side.
Oh, but at the same time, though, DeMu, I mean, the cow boom, that's where it really starts paying off, right? DeMu's able to reinforce, and he's got 15 sofas. He's got 15 sofas immediately. It happened so quickly. And LucifroN, where can he go? He's got nowhere to go. He's dead. He's actually dead. DeMu wins this. Wow.
Yeah.
It's just one like that.
He gets
just like that, it's over.
His archers are absolutely worthless against that sofa ball. He's getting all of his eco idled because they're really was all pocket eco. It's what Delhi loves to do. They expect to have this control, but never had this control against DeMu. What a clinic here on the Mali. 1-0 going over to DeMu.
Wow. Clean game. Did not greed, and just not going for the greed, not going for that overly fast castle. Downright wins DeMu the game here. Very nicely played. Amazing. That's how you gotta play the matchup. Very good for him. And yeah, I mean, let's take I want to see the food count. Let's look at the eco count. I mean, on the one side, we got Delhi, which is known for having incredible food economy with the berries, just incredible food economy. Rarely do you ever get close like the same food income as Delhi. On the other side, though, we got the cattle. The military count does kind of hurt there. But yeah, definitely want to see how much food has been gathered by both of these players here. I feel like with the cattle, DeMu's probably leading by like a good 2K.
Yeah, my big question though is why didn't LucifroN ever build like little just short walls around some of the sacred sites? I feel like it really could have gone a long way to help that out, not really, have those sacred sites immediately denied and have that gold trickle coming in for longer.
For one, it's a pretty big investment. It's like 120 wood for every single time you want to wall in one of these sacred sites. And on the other hand side, it also just means that it makes it more difficult for you to maneuver around as well, right? Because you gotta have units there. It makes it more likely that they get picked off against the army from DeMu that's also roaming around. Can be tough, can be tough. But here we go, our game number 2. It's gonna be Holy Island. And I never get to play the civilization in tournaments, but DeMu gets to. And it's gonna be China versus English here on Holy Island.
Yeah, I'm glad that you get to cast a Chinese game because you are very, very familiar with the civilization. You know all the ins and outs of it. It's kind of cool to kind of know someone who knows the intricacies, the weak points, and all these like perfect little timings for it.
Yeah, and it looks like the game is just about starting as well. I'm not sure if the countdown here is accurate, but I mean, looks like we're going to be right about to go into this one. That's exciting. We're getting the game quite quickly here. Holy Island, China against English. I'm not quite sure which one I favor here exactly. I think China's just a little bit better. I would have thought that LucifroN would pick HRE here over English. English can be really strong if you get their unique upgrade in the Feudal Age, the Admiralty upgrade. Then their ships have +1 range, and that makes them really, really strong. Means that it's going to be very hard to micro against that. They can somewhat even kite your opponent's ship with like the same type of ship. But China, they can just produce so much on water that sometimes it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, they have those inherent civ bonuses. They got the extra eco. They have the imperial official bonuses as well. So we'll see how that games end up turning out. We have LucifroN in the northeastern side on that English, and it's DeMu in the southwest on the Chinese. Both obviously moving out to water immediately.
Yeah, we're getting one of the interesting spawns here on Holy Island. I feel like usually we get like the really large wood line in the back, and this one we're getting large wood lines towards the front of both bases here, which could in theory favor the English quite a bit if they send like just a couple of longbowmen out early on. Can be very, very annoying to deal with, but should still be manageable. DeMu can just build a stable, supervise, and get some of these horsemen out really, really quickly. There we go. Docks being built here by both players. China obviously get the advantage. Their buildings are produced quite a bit quicker. So dock already out. Fishing ship also getting trained a bit faster. At the same time, English, they also get some pretty good bonuses. So their fishing ships cost quite a bit less. It's only 67 wood instead of 75. So saving a little bit of wood with every single fishing ship there.
Yeah, I feel like China on water maps really unlock a lot more and become that much more powerful just a couple minutes in. Like HRE, they immediately have that prelate. Their eco is immediately so much stronger. China, it takes a little bit to just have that production come out quicker and then have that Imperial official pop out once a lumber camp finishes.
Yeah, I feel like with HRE, if you're not able to put up a lot of pressure within like the first 9 to 10 minutes against China, it starts going downhill because that's when China suddenly like has better economy, and if they're able to keep up with HRE until then, it can become pretty tough for HRE to close out games there. There we go. Both players now deciding to scout what their opponent is doing right now. They scout around the base. They found a lot of sheep. You can find quite a ton of sheep here on this map early on. Not that you want to go for it early on.
Yeah, the sheep, yeah. It's not the most important when you have deep sea fish. If it was just shoreline fish, yeah, sheep comes into play a little bit more often, but really
you go for it if you lose the water.
There you go.
There are still situations where you can come. Like I feel like on this map more than any of the others, that we see a lot in like the ladder pool. Even if you lose water, I feel like you can still survive. So many times we see like games on Holy Island where the player that loses water still manages to somewhat boom back or like get back into the game, and you always have the chance of just all-inning and potentially catching your opponent off guard.
Right. And that's it. It's so funny when I play water maps because I'm one of those water haters, and it's like even when I'll win water, it's like, oh, and then the timing attack that you just talked about can just punish you so heavily, and you have to be prepared for it because that transition can just happen so fast.
Yeah. Both players just gonna be looking for their age ups, and I'm wondering how many fishing ships overall they're gonna be making. Is LucifroN, looks like LucifroN still has a couple more villagers on water, on sheep under his TC compared to what DeMu has right now, because he has a lot of food in the bank right now.
Yeah, it does look like he might be going for just a little bit of a quicker timing than DeMu. Moved out to gold a little bit earlier, although DeMu has moved out there as well. And the Imperial official's out, though, and that's really where, like I was talking about Chinese, helps their eco become that much stronger.
Yeah, this does look like a very solid age-up timing here from LucifroN. He already has almost enough resource to go up here. DeMu still needs quite a bit more. Like, LucifroN needs less than 100 resource to go up. DeMu at the same time needs like 500 resource to go up.
Yeah, just the huge benefit for DeMu is just how fast the age up ends up getting built in comparison. 5 on the council hall, it's just getting built up over there right next to that gold vein that he had it on. So we'll plan, I'm sure, to just send a couple longbows to the wood line like you had mentioned, since it's a forward one.
Yeah, DeMu at the same time, he went for a double dock, so it's going to produce a couple more fishing ships here down the line compared to what LucifroN is putting out. And LucifroN completely going off gold in order to build the landmark makes me think that indeed it's just going to be a couple of longbows pretty much immediately in order to just go over to his opponent's side. Oh. Yeah, it's land aggression. It is going to be a lot of land aggression here coming out from LucifroN.
Yeah, not really always what you're expecting when you have deep sea fish, but the double dock allows this land aggression to pay off a little bit more if the timing works out. And if it's one thing we know about LucifroN, these timings, they can be on point.
Exactly. I'm wondering what DeMu's response is going to be exactly to this. He goes for the Imperial Academy now. I think maybe like a fast song timing could be possible. I think like right around the time he gets Imperial Academy up, he could pretty much immediately go for Song Dynasty as well. Does risk that if LucifroN goes for a fishing ship, not a fishing ship, a galley ship, might lose his water economy. And there we go. He queues everything up at the same time. Gets a galley, gets a spearman, gets a longbowman. Everything at once. And I'm wondering, DeMu maybe get an outpost up on the sides of the wood line. It's going to be tougher for him to defend this. He has a lot of wood, so he can immediately drop a production building. And he does know that LucifroN is just going ham here right now.
He's starting to pull those villagers off of that wood.
It's gonna be fast Song Dynasty.
Yep, there it is.
Barbican coming out immediately, and he still has a lot of wood remaining. So he can still queue normal ships there as well. Yeah, Barbican is going to go up super quickly. Longbowman tries to pick off a villager, but can just pull that single villager back. Doesn't even need to. Barbican goes up, gets a couple of shots off. And DeMu, just like that, is fine. Galley hasn't even made its way across yet. Very well, like, the decision-making here from DeMu. Quite nice to react to that. And now LucifroN, he just kind of has to run around. He can still grow on the gold, though.
Yeah, galley, though, will start to deny this water. DeMu has a galley in queue as well. Plenty of space in the docks to put a low-health ship. If it made it there, it does not, and he leaves his other ship out to dry as well. Oh,
that hurts a little bit. Doesn't pull it back in time. Was lacking a little bit of food. Now suddenly he has a... Oh, wait. No. Oh, no. Oh no, he pressed G on them, didn't he?
He did.
And they ran all the way to the village.
Oh, that's just
and
like over.
And that's suddenly 7 dead villagers. 2 of them were fishing ships, but 5 dead villagers. And, oh my god, that... Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean... This map is hard to play, I'll say that much. This map is very hard to play because you have to split your attention on so many different areas. And just like that, like, the wood line...
Look at the range!
The single scout there, it gives vision... Oh no.
The longbow range is just, this is where, if you utilize that longbow range effectively, it's just almost impossible to deal with, and almost able to get another fill, but even still he moves up, takes another pot shot from the Barbican, but denies wood again, which in turn allows him to effectively take advantage and take control on the water.
At the same time, yeah, LucifroN, he is producing hulks. Hulks which cost less and which are gonna absolutely destroy DeMu's food economy out here on water. What is DeMu's answer gonna be to this? Like, he went out to the other wood line now, which still is very exposed, right? And he lost a lot of economy. He lost 8 economy units. Looks like DeMu is pushing out with the Shuganu. Shuganu, not the best unit here to make against these archers, though, because they're not as fast. So they can't really hunt down the units. Normal archers would have been fine there to make. Now DeMu quickly needs to make his... Oh no, another archer ship. He has a war chunk in the queue as well. That's gonna be a little bit longer until that goes out. Pulls the fishing ships forward as well, just to like block a little bit, but loses a couple of them for it. A lot of eco units have gone down so far. This is looking really rough right now for DeMu, and LucifroN, he's just going to keep massing units on land as well. I don't think just a couple of Shuganu is going to be enough to do nearly the same damage.
No, and he's going to start popping out men-at-arms that we see in queue. So longbows and men-at-arms going to perfectly counteract the chooks on the other side. And, I mean, LucifroN, what he has on water, it is significantly able to take down DeMu's. Looks like those chooks move forward. Longbows, though, already ready and waiting.
Yeah, and the men-at-arm is going to be perfect here just to tank all the damage up. And behind that, I mean, DeMu, he's got 3 archer ships versus 4 springle ships. LucifroN also has 2 demo ships, so he can't even go for springle ships on his own. And now he's just going to be pushing in. This is going to be looking really tough. He's got no room to run back to as well.
Oh, another demo ship pops out, but immediately almost goes down.
Archer ship gets taken down, though, and with that, LucifroN actually has to retreat. He has nothing against the demos out there from DeMu, but DeMu, he did pretty much lose his entire landmass here as well. Has to run back home. And then he's going to be in the same situation again, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just constantly trying to fight from behind. You can see it on the food counts now. Those villagers, those fishing ships, they do start adding up, down 300 food per minute or so, and, you know, transitions to the same because now military ships cost quite a bit of food as well.
Admiralty is now coming in for LucifroN, and with that, DeMu just has no chance left on water, it seems like. He did manage to remass a lot of the springle ships. He's now on 4 as well. But with Admiralty complete, we're going to see that just the ships from the English have so much more range, and now he's going to go in the gold as well. And with that, DeMu will have trouble massing his springle ships now.
And yeah, you can just see LucifroN was able to fire like 7 shots. DeMu hasn't been able to shoot 1. Able to get a DeMu, get a demo ship taken out, not a DeMu.
Yeah, I mean, DeMu has to hope that his demo ships do massive damage here onto the springle ships, but it's so tough to get close, and LucifroN is just going to pay extra attention to that just to be able to kite as much as possible here with that bonus range that he's unlocked.
Yeah, gold has been denied though for DeMu.
He snipes the archer ships as well.
Oh, it's that range. It's just so effective. LucifroN just able to kite this out just the same that longbows kited out. His springled ships are doing the same.
Oh, his archer ships went down. And with that, DeMu from LucifroN is going to be moving forward, and yeah, it's just getting picked off. DeMu he's dead in this one. There's no way for him to come back, and he knows. He taps out. GG, equalizer happens on the home map, on probably the best map for LucifroN, and he takes it. It is a 1-1.
I always love watching Holy Island games. They're somewhat short for water games, and it's just like there's so much action because you have to balance land and water so well. If you would just overcommit to one or the other, you don't respect your opponent on one or the other, you're just going to get wiped. And LucifroN just showed how effective some early longbow pressure can be.
Yeah, it made a big difference there. We see the villager count. It just plummeted there. If we take a look at the economy, it's same story there. And just against the longbows, they have so much range. It is so tough to protect your woodline against, especially if it spawns forward like that. I think DeMu might have just been better immediately going for the back woodline. It is else just too difficult to protect it, in my opinion.
Yeah, going for that back wood line such a feels bad at the start when you're focusing so heavy on these timings, but you know that those longbows are coming. It's English. That's their game plan. Like he scouted it out too, and right when he saw it coming, he pulled 17 villagers to build that barbican, but it's almost like building an outpost on your gold when you're getting Mongol tower rushed and Mongol just still has an outpost up and you're like, well, I still got my gold denied. Like that's what happened.
Yeah. All right. Next set. It's going to be coming in soon, and we're getting an Abbasid mirror. And boy, like we saw the Abbasid mirror that DeMu played against Sword of the other day. That one was a masterclass on how to play Abbasid. Wondering, did DeMu learn from that one? Is it going to be better for him this time? And it already looked solid for him the first time. It was just a couple of mistakes, which, and Sword of just really outstanding aggression that he did there, which won him that game. Wondering how it's going to be played there, because we do know LucifroN is like a really, really aggressive player, so it's very likely going to... Wait, actually, something that we've seen from LucifroN, thinking about now, when it comes to the Abbasid mirrors, very often is trade wing. Just going for immediately going for trade wing, not even going for additional TCs. He's just going to spam a lot of trade immediately. I think that might be something that we're going to be seeing here from LucifroN again.
I'm all game for it. It's always interesting seeing these different builds, seeing the different matchups where, you know, in the Abbasid mirror, sometimes you'll see the military wing come out and try to have it kind of pay off. Sometimes you'll see the eco wing, and rarely you will see the trade wing. But if trade wing comes out, it will be an interesting feudal age for sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fine for him to just go for the mass trade. I think the last time we saw it, it almost worked. I want to say almost worked because if I recall correctly, he still lost the game. I'm not quite sure. I think it was a mirror as well. I think it was an Abbasid mirror as well. So we're going to have to see how that one's coming out. And Green Frog DK, hope that stands for Death Knight. Thank you very much for the 10 gifted subs here. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, I'm sure those the receivers of the gifted subs won't complain, not having to deal with ads, get to see all of the action. And if any of you other people out there have one of those little Prime subs laying around, you don't feel like you know, I guess the best way to put it is, why not be using it at a great channel like EGC, where it goes directly back to the players. It supports these tournament scenes, and it's a free Prime sub if you got it laying around.
Exactly. You support not just EGCTV, but also the entire Age of Empires 4 tournament scene with it. It is always very much appreciated. Only a couple more seconds until we're going into our third game of this set here. Yeah, I think it's going to be trade. I'm like 80% sure that LucifroN is just going to go for trade boom here.
I think the trade boom will be a breath of fresh air on the typical Abba mirror, which is like, how many TCs are we going to end up seeing? 10 total, maybe? Usually ends up being around there at some point in the game.
Yeah, I think DeMu probably goes for like 3 TC is what I would expect. I mean, if he sees a trade wing, then he probably knows that he's just going to have to play this 1 gig aggressively. Think he might even stop at like 2 TC. If he goes for eco wing, then it's going to be 3 TC into mass military. Gonna have to wait and see though. I'm crossing my fingers here for the market play. That's really what I want to see here today.
Oh, I am all game for some market play, some more action in the Abba mirror. It's usually one of those that you'll see some horsemen, you'll see some of that early aggression, but that's when the game starts opening up as Castle Age. That's where they want to find themselves, and it's all about composite bows typically too.
Yeah, composite bow is such a strong upgrade right now in the meta. It's really, really strong. Going for that composite bow upgrade makes your archers just have so much attack speed. They're better than like fully upgraded network longbowmen. And it really goes to show, like when they start firing, it's like a cannon as soon as you get the upgrade, and you get it in Castle Age, which it's very good. It is very good. Like you already have like usually your massive archers left over from the feudal age. But yeah. Just about to see. We're going into our game number 3 now of our second set of the day. It's going to be DeMu against LucifroN, and we do see here LucifroN in the color yellow playing as the Abbasid Dynasty. On the opposite side, as it is a mirror, we're going to be seeing DeMu playing the Abbasid Dynasty as well. Looking at the map right now, though, these trade posts aren't the most optimal if you want to go for trade here.
Yeah, that was right when the game started. That was the first thing I wanted to look at, because usually if you're wanting trade, you're gonna want a nice like old safe spot. Hopefully, mark it more towards the corner than towards the mid map, because mid map makes it a little bit easier for your opponent to deny it, and so it might be a little bit difficult for LucifroN to get this up and running.
Yeah, at the same time, though, in theory, being a little bit more outwards also means that the trade distance is going to be a bit longer, means that you get more resources, in theory, out of it. I mean, at least one of the sides is going to be really easy for LucifroN to wall in here. Forward walls could also be a case for him, but if he wants to play it safe, I don't think he's going to go for the trade wing this game around. It's just not the most optimal spawn for it.
No, I think he passes up on it. I think we're going back to a more typical opening, and LucifroN, military wing, DeMu, military wing. All right.
It is going to be military wing for both players, and I think DeMu is the kind of player to just use the military wing to cover for more TCs. LucifroN, not sure if he uses that one for more TCs himself, or if he's going to go for like a full aggro kind of playstyle here.
I mean, I'm all in for the full aggro. You got to give the people what they want. Drop another barracks, drop another range, and just go all in over here.
I literally just tried that against DeMu in the exact same matchup. It almost worked. I'll say that much. It almost worked. Maybe. Maybe he can do it.
You know, I'd be in for it, but only time will end up telling. I can see some people, 2 seconds of a difference on the military wing. Oh my gosh. Well, you know,
already GG.
It's already GG. It's over. Just that much cleaner, that much of a better build, you know?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Look at that. DeMu, he's got a lot of villagers on wood right now. LucifroN, he still has a couple more villagers on food. Makes me think that maybe LucifroN's just going to go for an immediate stable here and just look to go for horsemen right off the bat.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like that leans to his play style. Having the extra villagers on the food, you're not doing that for no reason. It needs to use that food for something, which means a production building. Just question is which one?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a stable immediately, just because stable, you get the horsemen, you might be in time to actually deny the TC expansion.
Yeah, that forward stone for DeMu makes it a little bit easier to pressure, makes it more so he will have to react with something other than just those 4 units that pop out from military wing.
And LucifroN, yeah, he's also going for stone right now, so both players going for additional TCs. Makes me think that maybe it's not going to be an immediate production building, and he did pull off a couple of villagers off of food. Yeah, so now it looks like it's just going to be standard multi-TC play here from both these players.
Killing the sheep.
A little bit quicker to it. Yeah, it's 250 food denied.
Yeah, gotta love it. You know, you got to see some action somewhere. You can't kill the scout. You might as well kill the sheep.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And yeah, I mean, DeMu, 10 villagers on stone makes me think that it's not going to just stay with that 1 TC. It's probably just going to drop the first TC right next to a stone mine. And after that, just going to continue happily chipping away at that stone outcropping. Going for probably 3 TCs. That's what I'm going to say is probably going to be his plan here.
I'm assuming 3 by either of these players. And location-wise, I think, like you said, first one just for both goes directly next to the stone, allows them to just get right back on it and get next to the next other one.
LucifroN luring his deer under his stone in order to, like, get 2 flies with 1 smack. Like, is there a direct translation to this from German? I'm wondering right now.
2 flies with 1
German,
snap. We say kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah, we say you, like, kill 7 flies with a single hit of the belt.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Something like that.
Hey, well,
which is an odd number, but it works. It works.
I'll start having to pick that up, you know. But those second TCs
it's
are
gonna be stable now.
Yeah, stables is coming out. Going to be able to at least kind of get that next foot forward. Maybe deny where that third TC location may be, as DeMu is definitely back onto the stone, and I assume LucifroN will be as well.
Here we go. Yeah, it's very likely going to be multi-TC. Yeah, he's already back out on stone, but actually, LucifroN, he's going on the deer. He's going to stop with that second TC. Is it going to be just immediate ton of aggression out here now from him? Could be. He's also getting another house in just in order to get that golden age in. I don't think either of these players have that yet. I think maybe DeMu has it. Golden age is he's got a couple of extra houses, so I think DeMu's probably golden age 1 as well. Yeah, he's golden age 1, and I think LucifroN just got golden age with that bonus house that he just placed. Yep, house is placed. Now he has golden age as well. Actually, it was the 11th house. Okay, never mind. He had it before. Actually, never mind. It wasn't connected. Okay, yeah, he's golden age now.
Yeah, so DeMu Scout gets taken out, and this is crucial because he got the info he needed. When there's a reason why he saw the TC and then went back forward again. He needs to know if LucifroN's going with a third or not. He needs to know what to react to or not. So he scouted the stone and saw that LucifroN wasn't on it, was able to click it before his scout died as well. So he has the information he needs. The problem is what are you going to do to it now? What's your reaction knowing your opponent wasn't on stone and not going with a third?
He's just gonna drop the TC right next to the initial TC, just in order to get in range of these deer here. Look at that. Forward outpost now coming from LucifroN. He's going full all in on this feudal age push now. He's a little bit behind when it comes to the villager numbers. I'm not sure if that's just due to picking up fresh foodstuffs, but I think DeMu also grabbed fresh foodstuffs early on.
Oh, this outpost is so dangerous, though. DeMu lost his scout, which I had mentioned earlier. TCs don't give vision into those stealth forests, so that outpost, it's going to go up. And that's DeMu's main food source. Actually, only food source other than sheep.
Yeah, there are still other resources for him out on the map, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult for him to get there, especially if he doesn't have map control. And right now, it looks like he won't have it. He's gathering a lot of the deer up right now, but every deer after these first two is going to be in range of an upgraded outpost, and LucifroN already has a stone for it.
Yeah, he's just like barely onto the stone, and it could be not only a stone for an upgraded outpost, but he could drop a third TC at a location he wants behind this now, just obviously a little delayed, but his win is the resources, the map control, and the just overall resource denial from DeMu.
Yeah, exactly. Just getting the resource denial and making sure that DeMu's TCs aren't as effective or as efficient as his own, but doesn't look like he's going to go for that additional TC. Instead, it looks like he's now macroing towards Castle Age. Does already have a good chunk of the resources there. Already has pretty much the gold. Needs a little bit more food for that. Yeah, now he's just going to be able to deny that income there. He's just going to put some units inside of the outpost. But he's only going to pop them in as soon as the upgrade comes in, just in order to not alert the villagers beforehand. Just as I said, he pops them in a little bit earlier. But still, going to pop them in means that there's going to be bonus damage coming out from them.
Is it a little
it's not
short?
Quite in range.
Oh.
Ooh. He doesn't even get the other the other deer there at the top side.
Yeah.
In range. But the 3 deer there are going to be denied. That's still like 1,000 food. That's still 1,000 food denied. That's fine. It's fine.
And it's big because he's going up to castle now, and DeMu, he's going to struggle to match the military for one, because he's struggling on food, and match the castle age. He's going to want to go castle, and there it is. First Ville goes down. Now he realizes, and he even overreacts, pulls all the way off the deer, going back to the berries behind.
I feel like only LucifroN would go for Castle Age Trade Wing here in order to keep up with the TC timing. Do know Trade Wing has been actually buffed, so in Castle Age, instead of 3 traders, you get 4 traders. That's like 80 more resource that you get out of it, Poggers.
Yep, he's already planning on dropping the double markets at the top side too, so it's not just going to be the free traders. He's going to full on trade boom after this.
Oh, Spearman, catch the Horseman there, get some good damage on one, and double market, so he's going to go full in for the trade scaling here, from the looks of it.
Yep, and here he goes, just continuing to pressure the food too. If LucifroN's just continually able to just slowly idle these foods, DeMu's going to have his castle timing way too late. I don't care if he's up 10 bills.
Yeah. I think, let's check if LucifroN has any barracks out, because right now the game ender could potentially just be Ghulams. Immediately Ghulams, you get boot camp, since you already have... No, it's going to be Knights, okay. I think Ghulams would have just been much better there. He already has military wings, so he can just get boot camp. And with boot camp, the Ghulams already have pretty much as much HP as a Knight, but they just don't take any damage from the spears.
Yeah,
they're already faster than...
It's one of those you can just move into the economy with them and just say, all right, try to fight me with your feudal age units. Good luck. And you're not going to be doing anything. But LucifroN, Very, very quick castle timing, and he's only down 8 vills, and make that, what is it? There we go. It's only 4 now because the traders pop on out, and we're looking good.
Yeah, immediately starts queuing up a lot of these knights. Culture Wing now coming in from DeMu as well. And the question, though, is what's he going to do now? He has a couple of Spearmen up, but he's going to need more. I mean, Spearmen from Abbasid, obviously really good. You get the Phalanx upgrade. He's dropping down a couple of additional barracks here in order to cover for his own age up. He's just going to have to protect his food right now because he knows that that's where most likely LucifroN is going to try to attack onto.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the game plan from Lucy. If you continue to attack the food, it makes him hard, makes DeMu struggle more to equalize in the military count. But fortunately for DeMu, he's just on Spear Archer, and those archers will transition well into Castle with the composite bows, but needs to continue pumping those numbers up to defend what LucifroN's about to send.
Yeah, still has a good number here, so I'm not too worried here now for DeMu to be able to hold this. Question is just how much idle time is LucifroN going to be able to force here against him.
Oh, horseman. Oh.
Loses 3 there for free.
Not what you want to be doing, but those knights have found their way across the map finally. First dive in goes onto the main TC. There's a couple archers there with nowhere to go, and LucifroN just says, all right, I'll take this trade. Couple vills go down, and 1 vill goes down.
No blacksmith upgrades yet. No blacksmith upgrades, and +1 pierce damage just came in here for DeMu. So these archer shots are going to do a lot more damage now. Knight goes down now.
Yeah. Throwing that knight away just for 1 archer, 1 villager, not really the greatest, but still a lot of timing to be had, and the first trade drop-off is about to happen, and this is when LucifroN starts to unlock, and he's diving in on the berries as well.
Just as the military is a little bit out of position here. He's gonna have to run away with these villagers now, or just stand next to the knights. Now he's running in. A lot of the upgrades right now in queue right now as well for DeMu. He's waiting for the Culture Wing upgrade before he queues all the blacksmith upgrades, I think.
God, I mean, is that timing that he can afford to have? Like, yes, you're saving yourself some resources, but shoo, we just saw a good amount of 8. We see 8 villagers now total have gone down on DeMu's side, and LucifroN's up in the eco, got that trade starting to pump on out, and look at all the techs coming in for him. Oh.
Upgrades coming in for both players right now. A couple more raids in as well. But the archers are upgraded, and there's still no blacksmith upgrades in yet for LucifroN. This is still a good fight that DeMu can take. It's killing a lot of the knights.
Just now starting to get some of those blacksmith techs through. He's making the transition to composite bows as well, but he is just lacking, 10, 15 archers.
Still produced quite a lot there in the meantime. Econ and count also looking solid here for him. And he's going to have very good gold as this game goes on, so he's just going to be able to continue spamming up knights. Question though, do you want to do that against a civilization that has like the best spearmen in the game and the best archers in the game that are also able to take down knights with relative ease with that attack speed?
Not when you're throwing them away like that. It'd be great if he was able to get on some of the eco like he did, which... He's got a little fair bit of a little lead starting to build for himself. Army values fairly even. DeMu a little bit ahead there as far as the value goes, but numbers aren't always the true story.
Look at that. LucifroN's so sneaky. Just gonna do a little circle around with the knight, and now he's just gonna try and dive once again onto the berry patch there from DeMu. But DeMu finally got access to his steer there, which he can start taking. So LucifroN, he's got like units all around the map right now in order to just wait for DeMu to look for resource to get outside of the map, outside of his base, and then hit him there.
But 2 knights just fall, and DeMu's starting to push forward. I think his southern, oh no!
That's what I mean.
Oh.
Just the knights camping there, getting ready for DeMu to expand outwards, and that's where he gets them. That is gonna hurt a lot, and they were actually pulling the villagers' shifts there in order to fight against that one knight that just came in. But there we go. Good attack coming in from DeMu, and the trade line. That's what you get with like the really awkward market spawn there.
Yep.
Easy
Gold
denial on the
denied. Trade starts falling, and these archers continuing to push forward. LucifroN needs to respect this, needs to have his mass together, does have his reinforcements coming in, but I'm not sure if this is going to be the fight he wants to take. Spearman able to at least close in, guard in some of those archers, and DeMu taking decent trades, but starting to lose the mass now that the spears are getting falling.
I'm still not sure if this trade was too good for LucifroN, because he loses a lot of these knights since he didn't grab the last, or rather the last pierce stamp armor upgrade is still in production for him in research. And that's a lot of villagers that are going down here now as well.
Oh, another 10. Oh my gosh.
That was huge. That was so huge. Look at that. Now DeMu actually killed more eco units than LucifroN this game.
It just shows how strong those archers can turn out to be if they aren't dealt with, if they just stay in that mass, and LucifroN did not pull those vills back like he should have.
Archers, I think the count there is now better for LucifroN, so DeMu is going to lose these archer numbers here. Oh, the knights still being active there. Once again, just the reinforcement from DeMu hitting LucifroN there in the eco, and now LucifroN is actually falling behind a lot when it comes to the villager numbers.
Yeah, just eco getting hurt all over the place by both of these players. Wondering if LucifroN might think about dropping another TC to try to equalize, but I think the biggest point is he just needs to stabilize the units flooding into his base. He had that archer mass that he dealt with, but he needs his mass to clear the reinforcements.
Yeah, he kind of needs to fall back a little bit here, just protect his base a little bit more, because these knight raids are really, really annoying right now for him as well. But with that, I mean, he is in the reinforcement line there from LucifroN, like right where the production buildings are. So he is getting a lot of value there.
Yeah, last couple units that DeMu pushed forward with starting to get cleaned on up, and looking at the eco numbers, we're basically even. Look at the military numbers. LucifroN has actually taken the lead on the military side now.
Yeah, military numbers looking good there for LucifroN. Still, like, one player is making mass Ghulams, and LucifroN's only just now going for mass Ghulams. I think that Ghulams right now are just really, really valuable, since both players did go for the military. Oh no, that's an invisible horseman if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, and I mean, these start adding up so quickly. 1, 2 here, 3, 4 there. Now we're looking at 30 plus units killed on either side as far as the eco goes. The Ghulams, though, what a good frontline mass for DeMu. He made that transition earlier like you were talking about, but LucifroN has some reinforcements there, at least for now.
Yeah, it is a tough battle right now to push in for both players. But LucifroN just being really good here with these cheeky raids everywhere on the sides, and yeah, DeMu, he just needs some walls. He needs some walls, and he needs them soon here.
He
Military
needs
number
food.
of value. He does, but this is not a cost that you could afford here right now with how he's throwing away the units. He's going into the trade line though with the Ghulams and the archers. Sure, he's going to throw the units away once again, but he's going to get a lot of value there as well, I think.
Man, LucifroN has just been relentless with these night raids. Every single time we look over, Vodka's got another knight in DeMu's base, taking down more vills, but DeMu pushes forward, gets a good amount of traders at the cost of his whole archer mass of that group.
I mean, LucifroN right now, he only needs a single upgrade to completely shut down the raids on the trade, and he could already get that. With the trade ring, you get the upgrade where your traders have +5 armor. And then the archers don't do any more damage to him.
Yeah.
Just as an option here for him.
But it's starting to get to the point where LucifroN, I feel like, is getting back on the forward foot. He's still been raiding this whole time, but finally he's clearing up the forward masses that DeMu had, at least for now.
So there's a lot of army from both of players on the field, but it feels like DeMu is also getting in some good value raids here every now and then on the food economy. LucifroN already made his farm transition mostly. DeMu is also in the middle-ish of his own farm transition. Both players right now are just hurting. It's such a messy battle. Just both players running military into the other's economy relentlessly.
Yeah, it's like, when is the breakthrough finally going to happen? Who's going to finally hold and make the push at the same time and have the two groupings that are all of a sudden both bigger than their opponents?
This reminds me of a good old China game from Age of Empires 2. absolute chaos. Nobody knows what's going on. Everybody's enjoying it. Everybody's having a good time. Except for the villagers and traders here in the base, from the looks of it. Lots of villagers have gone down on both sides so far.
I mean, it's just so much damage, but it's crazy to think how even these players are.
Ooh, scout villagers being pulled there in order to deal with the archers. Actually, since it wasn't a lot, able to deal with them. Getting rid of that annoyance. Gulam's just adding so much value here right now to both of the players' army.
Literally everything, it's 103, 103, and basically 60 and 60. Yet it is just non-stop dying, non-stop death, villagers screaming, wailing, traders dying, and just craziness all over.
Yeah, it definitely feels kind of crazy here right now. DeMu, he just has so many of these like little clumped up groups of military that he's running around, and it's just so much micro from both of these players right now, making sure all of these little groups of military are getting their value in. Oh, Knights there again. Gonna do a lot of damage.
Decide to clear up the crossbow, and DeMu reacts, pulls the Vills back in time, and again, all the damage that LucifroN was just doing, he's taken on the other side as well. He has been able to get 3 relics though. That's one thing that DeMu has not focused on, is any relic control.
Are the relics necessary though for LucifroN? I mean, he's already trading. He's already like gonna have a lot of gold income with this game.
Villagers going down again. It will matter if this game gets to a 45, 50 minute, or it has a huge effect on how much that can be over time. No walls invested into by either player. There's no need. Who needs walls? They are not wall enjoyers.
Who needs walls when you can have military? And tons of military from both players, just being absolutely swamped the entire time. Both players getting their food transition in as well. And once again, DeMu just sending a little group of military into the trade. But it feels like LucifroN already has military there. Yeah, he does. And he's got knights there as well. The archers aren't going to do a lot there. Has to fall back there.
It feels
this little group of military gets trapped, and the knight numbers are just increasing to a dangerous level right now. Yeah, it feels like DeMu is just falling behind now.
Yeah, it's LucifroN starting to open this game up a little bit more. He's up to 15 knights. The army value is the key. He's at 8,800 army value compared to 4,600. Trade is booming, and he has been clearing and forcing that aggression. There's not as many pockets for DeMu with his military to push forward and pressure with.
Yeah, I mean, LucifroN hasn't been walling, which, to be fair, he's fine with. He's got the more mobile units since he's going for the knights. DeMu, I feel like, definitely need to wall here at some point in time. Not just because it's so dangerous not to wall against a player like LucifroN. It's so great, and now we see how the trade just kind of takes over this game, because he's also not just getting gold, he's getting passive food from the trade as well.
And think about
now
how much...
finally he's getting the armor upgrade on the traders.
There it is. That's going to be such a relief for him. Make it so much harder to take down, and another fight goes in. Think about how much APM could have been saved by walls. These players are all over the map at all times, and this is where you see just constant villagers going down that you maybe could have saved.
Yeah, a lot of villagers going down everywhere. I mean, for both players, but it feels like LucifroN is just still just so much quicker with remassing, because it's so much quicker to just have multiple markets there and be able to produce out of both of them.
Yeah, not only that, a lot of times I feel like DeMu, like, he lost like a couple of the bigger masses, where LucifroN, his raids are a couple knights, not 15 to 20 archers. Yeah,
and once again, knights pretty much everywhere right now, running around, and there's so many different groups, and right now 21 knights. LucifroN's preparing for a death push here, and it's happening on the woodline from the looks of it. Big fight happening on the woodline in the middle there for DeMu.
And yeah, it's villagers just getting absolutely shredded. You could see the eco numbers for DeMu. It's at 67.
65. Oh no, it's over. It is over. You cannot recover from such an incredible raid, especially if you want to raid your opponent now. The markets, the traders have so much armor, and GG gets called. LucifroN taking the third game here of this set, and man, that was an absolutely crazy game here. Just complete non-stop aggression 24/7 out of both players.
Absolutely wild one to watch. I feel for Vodka over there, for our observer. What a great job by him, all over the place there. Showed us so much info, so much devastation. And DeMu just was not able to hold, was not able to counteract that trade wing. And LucifroN got to play his game, it felt like.
Yeah, villager count. I mean, look, so many villagers there went down, but the last one, the last big raid there from LucifroN, the engagement on that wood line, so many villagers went down pretty much instantly there. Holy moly. Take a look at the economy count with the traders. LucifroN just having that huge eco lead there.
What a crazy game. It maybe not exactly what we were expecting with the Abbasid, but it's exactly what we all wanted. And now we'll try to see what we have in store for us for our next ones.
Exactly. I mean, this is going to be match point now for LucifroN, so DeMu really has to give it his all. Don't forget, we got a Buchholz score in this one, so every single game that you're able to take off of your opponent does mean a lot. It means like really a lot. Like if you maybe don't win a lot of your sets, but you still take a lot of games from your opponents against like really good opponents, which then go on to win a lot of games, that Buchholz score could literally make the difference between you being like top 8 or being like top 24. That's how big of a difference it could make.
Yep, exactly. But now we're seeing game number 4. It's a matchup we've been seeing a little bit more often now again. It's Mali versus Ottomans. So not the, I guess, the most recent expansion that we've gotten to see out here and gotten to cast and whatnot, but not the most recent one announced, I should say.
Yeah, so we get the new or the old new civilizations here playing against each other on Rocky Canyon. Gonna be interesting. DeMu on the Ottomans, LucifroN on the Malians. DeMu also plays quite a bit of Ottomans. I'm not sure how much Malian LucifroN is playing.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a question mark with LucifroN and Vortex and some of them. I feel like they have so many like practice games and they're practicing with each other. They're not sitting there always grinding the ladder like you'll see, you know, with Beastie and some others. And it's like, how much Mali have they played? I don't know. Does he have a Mali only account that all of a sudden has 150 games? So we don't know.
It must be a really big coincidence that LucifroN and Vortex both kind of, I mean, Vortex still every now and then he streams, but LucifroN and Vortex kind of like stopped streaming on Twitch right as the tournament started coming in. So yeah, I mean, surely they're just swimming now in the spare time that they have from not streaming, right? Like they're close to water, so they're probably just swimming all day.
Oh, it must be. It's, you know, everyone has hobbies other than this, you know. Magic's got his job. He's making real money, and LucifroN and Vortex, they're going swimming every day.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they're so good on Holy Island.
We have figured it all out.
That's the swimming practice, man. It's paying off. It's paying off.
Or fishing, I guess, too. But anyways, Rocky Canyon, a very, very fun map. It's very aggressive, as you can see with the way that these civilizations are going to play out. I feel like this is kind of the same strategy almost that we heard from the first game with Mali versus Delhi, which is like Mali has to respect Ottomans. They can't just greed into that cow boom, or else they're going to get steamrolled by like 150 military units.
Yeah, have to be careful there with how much you commit to your own age up and or cow boom. And Ottomans, they just want to go ham. They just want to go absolutely ham. They want to produce a lot of units. They want to harass you on the pit mines and then just potentially overrun you. Going to be interesting to see if DeMu is able to pull that off, though. And it's not going to be much longer until we're going into our 4th game here. Potential match point for LucifroN in this one.
Yeah, you know, it's a big series. Will we get another Game 5 series like we got a couple last week, or will this one just complete and we'll be getting to see what we have in store for us next?
All right, initiating the overlay. Gonna be not too much longer there. I mean, it's gonna be very much dependent on the spawn as well. I feel like if Malians get like a back gold in this matchup, it's going to be very tough for the Ottomans to harass that.
Yeah, that's kind of always the immediate concern when you're playing Mali. It's where's your gold, how much pressure, and then where your next gold as well for those pit mines. And so we're already checking and seeing LucifroN spawning in with that back gold like we were just mentioning in the color yellow, and DeMu on the opposite side on the Ottomans in the color blue.
Man, is this just a Marine Lord spawn or what? Like, ooh, that hurts. And DeMu, he is going for that early barracks play. LucifroN immediately scouts that out. He just went straight forward and immediately scouts that early barracks. That gives him a lot of information, but he has to feel really good now with having that backwards gold.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is one of those things that, like, you can tell he's practiced the matchup. He knows exactly what he needs to know if that barracks is coming down, if it's a military school coming down, or if it's just going to be a quicker feudal age. And it's a quick barracks, which means spears aren't coming to your side at 3 minutes. They're going to be coming to your side at a minute 30, minute 45.
Yeah, but LucifroN is actually not going for the fast age up here, which in theory he could be going for, considering that the gold is in the back. Instead, he is going for his own production building. He fully invested into, well, not fully invested, he only made like 2 houses, and now he's getting enough wood for barracks. And yeah, with that, it's going to be a Donzo versus Spearman play here.
Yeah, the big difference with this one compared to the Donzo versus Spearman game earlier is that was against Mongols, where they were getting to double produce them. They weren't having to pay the full amount. Well, DeMu, it's not from the military school. He's been paying the full amount for these spears. And so let's see how much damage he's going to actually do. Not only that, there's no bounty provided if he does end up burning the houses like we saw in the games earlier.
One thing that I could see here going for DeMu, I mean, even though the gold is in the back, both of the wood lines here are going to be forward for LucifroN. If DeMu can play this really aggressively, get like outposts in the back or like next to a wood line and just pressure with archers, could be able to keep LucifroN off of wood, which he will need because these Donzos, they cost 50% more wood compared to like the normal spear from other civilization. They cost 30 wood each, which is quite a bit early on in the game.
Quite a bit more expensive. Those are those kind of little things that you don't always realize until you're the one playing the Civ and you're like, wait, what? Okay. Oh no. Oh,
that hurts.
Oh,
that hurts. Just a little bit too close there in range. Lose one of his spearmen means that LucifroN is able to engage just a little bit earlier. Means that DeMu might not even be able to get this house on fire in time.
No, and you can see LucifroN's already going ahead and taking those traits. He got that third Donzo out. He's going ahead and jumping on forward. And the first spearman has to get pulled back from DeMu. Donzo getting pulled back from LucifroN as well, but you could just tell the micro by either of these players so key. But it looks like LucifroN gonna be coming out on top with that Donzo mass. Would have been a different story without that spear.
Javelin. He gets the house to burn, but I mean, LucifroN's just gonna pull a villager, repair it, and now he's just gonna be able to build the remaining
houses around.
Houses there he wants to. But behind this, DeMu is gonna get a significantly better age of timing, though, from the looks of it.
I love how, like, LucifroN, great priority there. He needed the other house out, and he knew that he had time to go and hammer that house a few times to counteract the burning.
Yeah.
Twin minaret on its way.
It's going to be a lot of sustained food income. This is such a strong landmark, honestly. You get so much food value out of it. It's really strong. Cannot be underestimated. And it's so quick food as well. Constantly, like, you have like 4 villagers immediately, which can just work 24/7.
It's, yeah, what is it? Four villagers on the berries on it will never have it deplete?
Yeah, it shifts around a little bit depending on if you get like the food eco upgrades. But you can just be pretty safe with like 3 villagers on it, and then no matter what food eco upgrade you have, you should be fine.
Yeah. So it makes it really nice. And now you can see the DeMu move into the stone, starting to prioritize getting some military schools out. I don't think that will be TC play, or at least I think it will be military schools first if a TC is even thought about.
Yeah, I mean, TC play, I think like 2 TC against like Cowboom rarely works. The Cowboom is just insanely strong, and the timings, like you delay yourself quite a bit with that if you go for a second TC instead. I think only Abbasid is probably going to be able to pull it off. And then
He
I
goes
don't think
back
that,
for the low health house. It's gonna put it back on fire.
That's beautiful. Oh, it's just gonna burn again. Burned again. It's so close to being burned again. Ah.
Again, if this were Mongols, he'd be rolling in the dough over here with how much resources that provided, but instead it's just kind of just some idle time and some annoyance that he's been causing.
Yeah, he would have got like 75 food, 75 gold out of that, 150 resource for building that cost 25 to make.
Sounds like a good trade to me. DeMu immediately focusing in on wheelbarrow and the weird. I guess I get the back production, but he can end up building all around that. It's just tucked it away, nice next to his wood line, next to the twin minaret too.
I understand the desire not to want to have the production forward, so yeah, makes sense. Good play there for him. He also has 5 villages right now on the berries early on, so he's gonna chew through these quite a bit, like quite quickly.
LucifroN moving out and about. Just trying to, I guess, see if there were any... oh, he hadn't scouted out this area. You can see by the sheep not being picked up yet. Actually, neither player has, and the archery range as well as barracks come into play.
LucifroN, he pretty much scouted the entire base of his opponent, and if DeMu was there just a little bit quicker, he could have gotten these 3 sheep, and looking at the base of DeMu right now, he doesn't have too many sheep left under his TC. I think it's only carcasses right now. And there's the second mill coming out from LucifroN, so we're going to be seeing a pretty hefty cow boom from the looks of it.
Yeah, it looks like only 5 carcasses left there on the ground.
Is that... Okay, never mind, that's a cattle ranch. For a second, I thought it might be a 3rd mill there for him.
That would be a big investment there. But yeah, cattle ranch already coming to play. You can already see that those cows going to be planned to pump on out of those mills next to it. Meanwhile, on the other side... It's not an eco investment for DeMu. It is going to be the military investment. It's, well, I guess somewhat with the military schools, it saves you eco, but it is all about putting that front foot forward and gassing into your opponent's eco.
Gassing into your opponent's eco, yeah. He really wants to, like, just push in there, but at the same time, LucifroN, he knows what's up, and he's got an archery range, and he's going to be making javelin throws now against that. Civilization, though, with the best horseman in the game is going to be the Ottomans, and with that, I mean, the bonus range on these on the Sipahi means that the pathing usually it's really atrocious for horsemen, right? Like pathing on horsemen, it's not good. It is very much not good. But with the Sipahi bonus range, it does sort of alleviate that problem quite a bit. It's like LucifroN is also going out for another expansion in the pit mine department. Very far towards the side, though. This could potentially be a target for DeMu to go for.
Yeah, heading on over right next to the market, and can't actually even fully circle the house with houses, I think, because of that market location.
I think if he built the first house just a little bit closer to the market, would have been fine. But yeah, I think he's going to be missing out on like 1 house there.
Yeah, and you can see DeMu did have to move out onto the deer. Wanted to probably move out onto the deer anyways, get that extra food resource, and not having to, you know, eat up some of his safer ones as well.
Yeah, military numbers are now starting to climb here for DeMu. It's good that he went out to the deer that early, just because he didn't have that many sheep overall. And look at that, notification being caused by the matter. It has an attack with 0 damage on it, so it actually is able to cause like these notifications that we're seeing here right now on the minimap.
I never even knew that. Wow. All right.
It can be quite annoying with that. Just being able to cause like notifications without anything happening.
Yeah.
Has to be careful though. The Donzos do bonus damage to the matter as well since it's cavalry, so Donzo Spear could quickly take down one of those.
Yeah, and the thing about DeMu's army is he's got 12 archers already and could kind of wipe the floor with anything but those jabs, and Sipahi numbers starting to climb up pretty quickly, and you'd already mentioned, you know, that better ability that they have, which is the extra range, the ability to actually get their attacks off rather than running into each other.
And there we go. Pit mine expansion gets found out. Javelin's already in position. DeMu falling back for now. Does in theory, as you said, have the military to deal with it. It's always really, really tough to take the fights here because right now LucifroN doesn't want to take fights. He's just gonna fall back whenever he has the opportunity to do so. And yeah, I mean, he could just run all the way back to his main TC, and that's why it's always so difficult to like take the engagements on the army there from LucifroN.
Yep, still trying to get some pressure onto that pit mine, wants to deny some of these passive resources. It's just so hard, especially when he's massing up archers. He needs that Sipahi number to burn, but doesn't want to just take units and get units taken out for no reason.
Yeah, looks like now DeMu's pushing a little bit further forward. Sipahi, though, gonna have to be careful with Dunzo. If he kills 2 Dunzos, he's gonna be fine for losing 1 Sipahi. Just like that. That Sipahi loss is A-okay.
Scout getting pretty close to picked on out. Scout does get picked out, so it's going to be harder for LucifroN to know when to take these engagements, see anything on the other side. Metter! No! Misclicked. Metter does end up taken out. Donzo slowly thinned. The Javdars are doing exactly what they need to do, which is just slow snipe out the archers now that they killed the Metter.
Yeah, exactly. But the archer count is still rising here for DeMu, and if he gets to the point where the Javs just aren't there enough in numbers, the archers have much faster attack speed. If the Metter gets rebuilt, then it's even better for him. And then with enough archers, he's able to take down the javelins very, very efficiently. But yeah, the Donzos is what you want to take down first, and then your spy can finally run in as well. I like the play that DeMu also has like 1 additional stable, which he's producing from the spy. So it's not just the military schools. He knows that he has to just create them a little bit faster. Now we see a ram here coming out as well.
And this ram is going to be the thing that that DeMu needed to pressure LucifroN. It's like, now the supply, yeah, they can help torch, they can help burn, but they also can make sure to be in the correct positioning to not take damage and let the ram do its thing.
Yeah, exactly. LucifroN trying to push out again, but now if he overcommits onto the army here from DeMu, yeah, he shouldn't be able to really take the fights here. But the base damage from the Sipahi is still pretty... from the javelin throwers is still gonna be pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty tough here for the Sipahi to actually take any decent engagements there.
Yeah, it's just this is
a lot of micro coming out.
Such good micro from LucifroN, just keeping those Donzo right on top of those javelins. And javelins just wiping everything that they're going to attack. Looks like main engagement finally pushing forward with those Donzos and happening. And DeMu has lost out a lot of his military mass, it feels like.
Yeah, most of the archers have gone down here behind us actually, and now DeMu's trying to use the Sipahi that he still has there in order to get some bonus raids in. Behind all of this, the ram has been active, but the question is, was there enough damage caused? Looking at the destruction value, it doesn't feel like it. It feels like LucifroN actually got the better end here of the trade by a lot.
Yeah, that micro was unbelievable by LucifroN, which I feel like I've said multiple times today already, but such a great job having those units positioned exactly where they needed to. Yeah, he loses a pit mine, loses some houses, but gets to clear up this ram after, and more importantly, cleared up a significant portion of the Ottoman military.
Yeah, very important to keep those units, the count as low as possible. And this was a lot of damage. Oh no, is DeMu still rallying in there? He has to fall back. That is just too many javelin throwers right now. And when you have less archers and your opponent has javelin throwers, it's going to be a problem. It is going to be a problem. There's also so many spearmen right now. I feel like maybe DeMu, it's an odd choice, but I think that spearmen are pretty damn good as a front line against the javelin throwers. So maybe if DeMu just makes a lot of spears, but it's tough now. He probably doesn't have the infrastructure to it. It's also very food expensive. This push that's going to be coming out now from LucifroN is going to be very tough for DeMu to hold.
Yeah, and usually that's where you want to be the Ottoman player being the one having that push, and instead it's LucifroN. LucifroN, significant amount of wood in the bank though. Spending all the other resources on those Javs, on those Donzos.
All these small engagements, like not full engagements, they're all going in LucifroN's favor right now, and yeah, this is tough. The Matter is already half HP again, so it's might be close to losing that one once more. And behind that, LucifroN in a minute or 1.5, he's just gonna be able to go up to next age.
Yeah, not even. It feels like I looked back a second ago. He had like 100 gold and food. Now you just mention it, and a second away from being able to click up to castle.
Yeah, not gonna be much longer. Pretty much there. And as soon as he goes up to the castle age, he's gonna have that supreme food economy with the with the cattle boom and Musafati getting in some raids there. I feel like the villagers could probably just kill these Musafati relatively easily, but yeah, this is it's gonna be really tough for DeMu to come back from. Grand Falani Corral, 20 villagers on there. It's gonna get rushed up very quickly here.
Yeah, plenty of wood to continue to drop other production if needed, make the transition to Sofa like we'll see a lot of players do once that Grand Falani does finish. And so let's see what LucifroN has in mind once Castle Age completes. He's getting very close. That other pit mine location about to be focused by DeMu again.
Behind that, DeMu also not too far away from his own Castle Age timing here. Sipahi are going to be out now, are going to be hitting those pit mines. Just going to get buildings to burn. It's going to force a villager to come there if he wants to repair or rebuild them.
Instead, looks like LucifroN just going to reposition to the north side gold veins. And look at DeMu behind this, not having too shabby of a Castle Age timing himself.
Oh, LucifroN is going to run around, though, trying to pick off the units here from DeMu. I think the meta has a good line of sight, though, and there is. The meta is going to go down there. There is no way he's going to stay alive there. And now, DeMu sees the unit. Is he just going to commit to burning it? No, okay. He does run away. Correct call there.
27 villagers on the MIA?
He really wants that from the looks of it, but look at the amount of javelin throws. I feel like, yeah, with that many javelin throws, LucifroN can just dive the base of DeMu, and there's nothing he can do about it. Absolutely nothing. DeMu right now, I feel like he needs some men-at-arms, but even the men-at-arms aren't going to be that great once the Sofa are going to be coming in.
I love how
the Malians are just in such a great position now.
I love how LucifroN waits till the last second to actually have to reposition idle his vills. Yes, he actually does lose one. Might lose a few more, as this is a good little pickup actually from the Sipahi, as was not respecting the Sipahi number. Donzo too slow to cover it, and 6 villagers go down.
6 villagers not quite worth the amount of Sipahi that went down there, though, sadly. And the Mangonel, it's gonna be too long until that Mangonel makes its way onto the battlefield here. And there this Fasar. Don't think all the upgrades are in yet for them. Actually, it might be. But the military mass here, it's just too big, and it's going to be insanely tough here for DeMu to hold this. I'm not sure if he can. So many more military members out on the map here for LucifroN. Just have a lot of military schools. Is fighting under the TC. No units inside the TC, though.
Yeah, nowhere to go, no resources coming in. Yeah, the military schools, the MIA pumps units out with no cost, but that's not enough for what's in his base now. He's down 30 military units and whole eco idled.
Yeah, it's almost 20 sofas. Almost 20 sofas. And DeMu, he just doesn't have any unit to use against the sofas. He started making crossbows, but it's too late. It's too late. Too little of units right now. He wants to go for wood, but he can't. The Bass from LucifroN is in his base right now, and he has no way of getting rid of him.
I think LucifroN could just A-move at this point and end the game, but still playing this as smart as possible, waiting for this main engagement. Jab throwers diving on the backside. Donzo's just still holding Sipahi hostage, and this looks to be the fight. LucifroN going for the surround. Sofas are in, and it is over. DeMu throws in the towel, and LucifroN goes up 3-1 and moves along.
GG gets called. Yeah, 3-1 here for LucifroN. DeMu at least able to take one game here off LucifroN, which does mean a lot considering LucifroN so far has been like completely undefeated